All right, and continuing on with ways to save, number 21 would be to use reusables. That's a big thing we have always done, and we do even more now that we live on the road. But reusable stuff, everything from, you're the reusable plates and things like your silverware and your cups and anything like that. We don't use disposable stuff. And that is, not only does it save us money on having to rebuy stuff, it just makes sense for the planet. So definitely reusables, great way to save money and a lot of other things too, like the planet. Number 22, if you're traveling around on the road like we are, a great way to save money is to plan ahead. Now, we're somewhat spontaneous, but we do some planning too, especially to save money. And if you plan your route ahead of time, it'll help you save money on gas. Route planning will help you to make sure you're not doing a lot of extra mileage driving just because of a mistake in your route or something like that. And now with the gas prices posted on Google and stuff like that, you can look ahead and see, plan your route based on more affordable gas stations and things of that nature. So definitely route planning will save you. And along with that, with planning your route ahead of time, you can also plan the time of day that you're driving. So we tend to try to avoid rush hour. Not only does it waste gas, which will save us money, but it's just also really annoying to drive through rush hour. So you can plan your travel times around that too. And when you live on the road like we do, you have that added luxury of being able to travel whenever you decide. And finally, with your route, you can also avoid driving through tourist trap regions, which tends to cost lots of extra money. Definitely will cost you more on gas because gas prices are always hiked up in the tourist traps. We did make this mistake once, and we came out into an area in Death Valley, and the gas prices were near $5. We actually almost ran out of gas because we were trying to drive to a different gas station to save money. We ended up paying for something, I think. So we learned our lesson there, and we now definitely avoid tourist traps. We've kind of done our rounds. We enjoy the national parks and things of that nature, but now that we've seen a lot of them, a lot of times now we avoid them just because of that. It tends to be a little extra costly. And we've found a lot of hidden treasures around the parks that we now frequent, and they're less crowded and saves us money. So another tip that will sort of feed off of that is to try to get cheap hobbies. This will help you save money if you enjoy the simple things. We have a lot of things that we love doing that don't really cost us anything. We did in the past get the National Park Pass, which was $80 for the year, which when you live on the road for an entire year, that really, was worth it, especially when we were going around to all the parks. Like I said, we've kind of stopped doing that quite as much now, and now we do a lot of hiking outside on public lands and other places that don't cost anything to hike on. So hiking is pretty much a free hobby. We do a lot of backpacking, also free hobby. Once you've got the backpack and some gear, you can pretty much backpack all over the place for free. We also do a lot of just kind of exploring, adventuring, rock hounding, things like that, and just checking out local geology and finding cool rocks. That's also free. And we do a lot of reading and learning, also pretty much free. We've gotten plenty of free books, and we've also gotten books for like 50 cents at the thrift store, so it's almost free. But again, it's a pretty cheap hobby, and we love it. I mean, it's actually something that we love doing. So if you can find things like that you love doing, it'll save you tons of money. Otherwise, you spend a lot of money on hobbies and gear and things like that, and it adds up. And we actually made a video to go along with that about cheap ways to have fun, so you might want to check that out if you're looking for more ideas. If you're transitioning to a more minimalist or budget type of lifestyle, check that one out. So with that, we don't pay for things like paid entertainment, and as much as we'd like to kayak, a lot of the tourist regions charge for things like kayaking. And then also if we were toting around something like an ATV or a boat or whatnot, it would cost to buy it, to fuel it, and it would just end up costing too much and we wouldn't be able to stay on the road. We've also talked about that we don't pay for camping, and that goes along with not only entertainment, if you're looking at camping as entertainment, but for us it's a place to sleep. It's a good tip. If you're doing a lot of camping, you probably want to do more on the public lands to save money. There's free dispersed camping. It's just a little rougher. You don't have amenities, but you have amazing views. So we're total advocates of not paying for camping. And we've talked about it in our budget video. Just $10 a day ends up to $3,000 to $4,000 for the year, more that we'd be paying to sleep somewhere. So yeah, don't pay for camping if you want to save money on the road, especially if you are camping all year long. All right, number 27, I'm going to go down the list of some RRR reminders, you know, the recycle, reuse stuff. So for number 27, we'll say the first one, and this is the most important one, is reduce. You know, it's being more of a minimalist. Reduce what you buy, reduce what you take along with you. That saves lots of money. It also, again, saves the planet if we're not consuming so much. So we're big advocates of reduce. And we think a lot of people have forgotten about that first R. The first one is don't buy so much or reduce your usage. And then going down the line, 28 would be to reuse, right? Or with that, we could even say repair. Reuse your stuff as much as you can, and we have talked a lot, and we have the quick tip playlist here that you can check out where we talk about different ways that we've solved problems. We have patched our tent. Our tent is starting to look like a little bit like a patchwork, but you know, we're not going to go out and buy a new tent at this point. It's still working. Just needed a few quick repairs. And we've found some really thrifty ways to repair the tent. Our tent pole fix is one of those that you've seen in the quick tip playlist, and there have been some other ones too that we've done. And along the way, living like this, we get kind of more creative. When you're trying to save money, it's really good to get as creative as you can. If you be innovative and creative to find solutions rather than just running out right away and buying a replacement, just getting that mindset of how can I reuse this? How can I repair this? And that'll save you tons of money throughout the year. And number 30 is function over fashion. We're big advocates of buying things for function. We don't take along a lot of stuff along with us, and we tend not to buy as much, but we have some stuff. And when we do get it, it's all about function. Things that really are going to work for us. And to go along with that, 31 is getting stuff that's multi-use. So we try to get or think about how we can use our items for multiple things. One simple example is we talked about the quick tip about using a dog line for all sorts of things. And it's just such a simple little thing that we use for hanging a tarp and a clothesline and the dogs and all kinds of other great uses for that as one example. And a lot of our items we use in a multi-use fashion. It's a great way, you know, there's so many things out there now that are just, you need one specific thing for everything. I've seen a peanut butter and jelly knife at the store, which we kind of laughed at because it's just kind of funny, all these items that are specific for every little thing you do, when really, I mean, some of these are great, you know, you can think of the apple peeler, potato peeler, pineapple peeler, you know, there's something for everything. And if you want, you could buy all those. It's going to add up. Instead, you could get a knife and you could just, you know, cut your potatoes and your apples all with one. So just a simple example of multi-use and saving money. It's also saves space, and that's another issue with us. I mean, I'm talking about saving money, but our lifestyle also means saving space. So again, it kind of forces us into more of a minimalistic lifestyle and not having so much stuff with us, which is a great way to be, at least sometimes. And 32, if you are needing to get some things, be sure to watch product reviews. There's so many out there now. You can watch YouTube and watch tons of product reviews for everything before you buy it. That's a great advantage we have now. We've even started to do some product reviews. So again, like I said, we don't get a lot of stuff or carry a lot of stuff with us. So when we do a review and say it's pretty awesome for living on the road, hopefully you'll take our word. All right, number 33 would be skip out on some luxuries. This is a great way to save money throughout the year. Every little bit adds up, and if you just skip out on a few of those luxuries, everything from, you know, a beer, you might have ice cream, you might be coffees, or maybe it's that paid entertainment, whatever it is. These are forms of luxury. This is a great way to save money and just become a little more minimalistic in your lifestyle if that's your goal. Living this way has definitely taught us a redefinition of the word luxury. And so in trying to save money and stay on the road, we tend to let go of a lot of the luxuries. Now, we all have our things, right? So mine is definitely going to be ice cream. Every once in a while, I love to get an ice cream. And so I do it every once in a while. But other than that, I did used to drink coffee. I still like it. I didn't need it really I don't need it to wake up now. But every once in a while, I like the flavor. I love the smell. So I might have a coffee here and there. But for the most part, I've dropped that luxury, and it helps us save money. And we don't have to carry that stuff around on the road with us either. We don't drink, we don't do a lot of, we don't do any paid entertainment. So we've let go a lot of the things. We had some hobbies that cost a little bit more that we don't do as much now. We've made the trade-off. And when you make that trade-off, it's definitely a great way to save and just become a little more simple.
One more way to save, a real big one too, is to not buy water. We don't buy water at all on the road. And we seldom even find the need to do so. You can get it in a lot of places. We typically just have some bottles that we bring in. We fill up at places like at parks and at ranger stations you can fill up, even in grocery stores. So you have a lot of options there. Definitely not buying single bottled water because that's obviously going to add up after a while. And then you also have the bottles that you have to tote around with you, which just sounds like a pain to try to carry that trash around. Plus, it is a pain for the planet, so you don't want to make all that pollution and then also save money on the purchasing of water. Another alternative, aside from just filling up, is that you can bring a filter around with you, which is something we always have on hand. We have a Sawyer Mini, which has kind of been our go-to, but we actually have also tried out some other water filters at this point, which we'll talk about in other videos, but Sawyer Mini is the big way to go. And we use that. We can filter water wherever from lakes and rivers, and then we can definitely have water on the go even if we're in the middle of nowhere and we have nowhere to necessarily fill up. So with a filter and with those other options I talked about, there's almost no need to purchase water. So save yourself a lot of money there and do the planet a favor too, and just don't buy water. Did I miss any? Oh yeah, thanks Kluani. Live in your car, of course. Actually, you don't have to full-time live in your car, but if you travel a lot and you do a lot of car camping, it's definitely worth it to consider converting your vehicle, particularly if you have an SUV. It's really easy to convert. You can do it a temporary style or a permanent style like we did, and then when you travel around you can sleep in it, save on lodging fees and camping fees. No need to stay at the hotels, just sleep in your car like we do. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed those 35 ways to save while you're traveling or living on the road. And stay tuned for more interesting and helpful budget ideas in this playlist on the channel here at Paradise on Pennies. We'll have much more coming down the line as we travel and learn more ways to save, more ways to make money, and more ways to live the simple life. Thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.